So when I was younger, a few years back, my daughter was younger. I was in the union, and she was asking me about being in the union. I was like, well, you have better benefits, and you get more money and this and that. You pay dues, and you have seniority. And she's like, well, what's seniority? I said, well, seniority is when you've been there longer than somebody else, and you get some benefits. One being, sometimes you could pick and choose what job you want to do in the union. So I see her the next day, and I'm like, honey, can you do me a favor? Can you clean your room? And she's like, no, I'm not cleaning my room. I'm like, what do you mean you're not cleaning your room? She goes, well, I joined the union. I want better benefits and more money and like vacation and sick time. And I'm like, what do you mean vacation and sick time? Your whole freaking life's a vacation. All you do is color and play. And she's like, well, here. And she hands me an envelope. I open it up. She's taking me to court. Yeah, I got to go see a federal arbitrator. So, I go, and of course she wins because they always side with labor. And so the next day I see her, and I'm like, honey, can you clean your room? She was like, sure, no problem. I'm like, I guess this ain't so bad. So go to check up on her, and she's in the other room watching TV. And I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, what does it look like I'm doing? I'm watching TV. I said, I know, but you're supposed to be cleaning your room. She goes, it's getting cleaned. So I go and check in her room. Her brothers are cleaning the room. I'm like, what's this all about? She goes, well, I have seniority, and I'm making them do it. Oh, and they're pissed. They're freaking doing her dishes. They're vacuuming the rugs, and she's just sitting in the other room taking it easy. I'm like, holy shit. So now I'm like, hey, when you guys are done, can you go shovel the driveway? And they were like, yeah, no problem. So I go to check up on them, and they were all out there leaning on their shovels. I'm like, what's going on here? She goes, well, we've been up for 2 hours, and we're taking a break. I go, what do you mean you're taking a break? I go, just get back to work. She goes, no, I'll file a grievance. I go, what do you mean you're going to file a grievance? Yeah, so she files a grievance on me, right? Come to find out, my wife's the shop stewing. So freaking nothing's getting done around my house. Freaking dishes are piling up. Freaking laundry's piling up. The house is a mess. It looks like a freaking episode of Hoarders. I'm like, it's out of control. So, and then she's like, freaking trying to pull the race card on me. I'm like, race card? What are you talking about? Your wife. And she's like, down with the man. I'm like, what are you talking about? Yeah, so it's getting crazy. I want to move out of the house, So, anyways, I drive a truck, and I'm in this place making a delivery, and I'm standing at the urinal, and I'm looking at, there's a sign on the wall that says no smoking, and I'm like, okay, whatever. So I look at it closer, and I notice it's in Braille, and I'm like, Braille? I go, that doesn't make any sense at all. The only way a blind person would know that sign was there is if they could see. They can't see the fucking sign there. The only way they would know is if they were feeling around the walls and feeling for a sign. I mean, could you see this? A bunch of guys standing at the urinals. They got this junk hanging out. The guy's feeling around the walls. All of a sudden, he's feeling some guy's balls. And, your balls got little bumps on them. And that could be like Braille. And it might say something like, I don't know, flush right here. So he thinks he's pulling the flusher. He's grabbing the guy. The freaking guys are getting yanked on. I'm like, and the walls, those are made out of brick. So that could be like Braille. It could say anything. It's throwing insults at the guy. It could say like your mother's a whore, or your father likes to touch little boys. I mean, it could say anything. So I don't know. It's kind of fucked up. When if you can't tell already, I'm a little messed up. And when I was in school, we had to do this report in health class. It was an oral report. You had to get in front of everybody and in front of the auditorium. Your parents were going to be there. It was like a thing we were working on all year. And everyone had 2 subjects. I had to do oral hygiene and sex. And, I confused it, and I thought it was oral sex hygiene. So I freaking get up there, and I was like, yeah, if you're going to have oral sex, your mouth should be really clean, and, your genitals should be clean. Meanwhile, I have, like, papier-mâché penises and vaginas on the side over here. And then I'm fucking, I did that thing with the turkey, and it was like, it's just like, and then I saw my father over there laughing. He's trying to hold it in. My mother freaking, should I wait?
No, go ahead.
No. And my mother's like, hits my father, and she's like, I told you he needs help. I told you there's something wrong with him. And so anyways, I went on to, when I got older, I went to a trade school. And, you know, I went there for like 4 years, and all I basically did was, I got high for 4 years, okay? Let's see, I made a frickin' pipe. I made a frickin' nunchucks. I think I made a hammer or something. I mean, and I realized why they called it a frickin' trade school, because I traded 4 years of a good education to 4 years of getting high. So, fucked up on the delivery on that. That's all right. Let's go on. So I don't know. The kids these days, I mean, nothing against younger people, but it seems like people just have sex with like anybody these days, you know? And now for me personally, I mean, if you're going to have sex with a woman, she should have, I don't know, at least, I don't know, what's it called? Like, a vagina. She should have a vagina. I mean, that's really important, you know, and breast. Did I mention a vagina, right? Okay. Anyways, so I'll tell you, I drive a truck, and there's a lot of weird shit you see driving a truck. Seriously, I mean, I've seen people fucking masturbating, fucking shaving, putting on makeup, and that's just me. Jesus Christ, never mind everybody else. Some of the shit you see, you know. But anyway, so you know, a lot of times when I'm driving, you see an accident, and everyone, you know, slowing down to look at the accident. I'm like, this is what I do when I see an accident. I slow down, and I look at the accident, and I say, look at all the assholes got to slow down to see the accident. So meanwhile, I'm one of those assholes. I'm fucking slowing down to look at it, just like everybody else. Yeah. So I was mentioning how I'm a little messed up, and I'm watching the news, and I pause the TV and go to do something. I wanted to see a story, and I end up I literally fast forwarded through. It was like something about ISIS and the president and nuclear war and all this important stuff to see a story about a new flavor of Pop-Tarts. That's what's important to me, a story about frickin' Pop-Tarts. Not good.
All right, hold on. I'm going to just start a new video.